Emily, science-wise, what's the best way to put out a fire?
Well, a fire is just combustion, so that's burning of a fuel, and which is actually just combining with oxygen. The only thing that's going on is the fuel or the wood or whatever it is that's burning is combining with oxygen in the air, and that's having a huge reaction that's releasing loads of energy. So all you have to do is actually starve it of oxygen, which is why traditionally we throw water on a fire. Actually, all we're doing is stopping the fire getting any oxygen in the air. So it's just as efficient to throw a blanket or a towel over something. But the most important thing is that if it's an oil or a grease fire, if you throw water on that, it's actually going to make it loads worse. Most people know that, but their first instinct is to throw water. And that's because what happens is, if you throw water into oil, it actually doesn't smother it and starve the oxygen. It actually sinks because it's denser than oil. Not only that, but oil burns at such a high temperature.
Simon's got his I'm learning things face on. Sorry, Emily, carry on.
Keep learning.
Not now. No, because oil burns at so much higher temperature than water. If you throw water into it, the water suddenly boils and evaporates. And when water evaporates, it turns to steam. And it expands to like over 1,600 times the volume of when it's a liquid. And that bursts apart the oil and like shoots out darts of little oil droplets, which are flaming. And those will land on any surface and make it catch fire. So you're basically creating a little bomb. So whatever you do, don't throw water on an oil or grease fire, but just smother it in a blanket or in a towel or anything you've got around you, and then get out.
That's really, really great.
That's really good.
I wanted you to draw the diagram of the triangle with the three things that you need to have a fire, and you just have to take one of those away, right? With like oxygen and fuel and
the other thing.
Fire. Is fire the other one?
Probably.
Is it fire? Right. If you just take the fire away, you're all set.
No, really, do you think comedy is art?
Yeah, I do. I'd be foolish to say no, wouldn't
It's
I?
not science, is it, Emily?
No, but science can be really arty, because art to me is just, well, yeah, I think so. Art to me is just creativity and like something arising from nowhere, and like there's loads of stuff in science where if you're doing experiments, that's really creative. You're like putting stuff together and going, okay, what's going to happen? Or if you're like I do, I explain science, and for me that's really creative because I'm like thinking of ways of making science fun and interesting and like using analogies and stuff, and that's really creative. So to me, that's arty.
Where do you like to see art?
I really love seeing like random little quirky bits of art in London that you don't expect. Like the other day, I was walking down the street in Smithfield, and down one of the alleys, there's a big old brick building, and it's got this enormous Rubens painting on it, and I'd never seen it before. And it's Samson and Delilah, and it's enormous, and it's just pinned to the side of a building. It's just totally beautiful.
That is a bit of a surprise.
And I love London for that, because there's just bits everywhere. Like there's a life-size Gormley statue on Euston Road. Have you seen it? The one with where there's two, one inside the building, one outside, and they're kind of looking at each other. And every time I cycle past there, I always think it's a person, even though I know it's there.
Do you wave? Hello!
I'm always like, there's two of them. Oh no, it's that thing again. But that's what I love about London, is there's like little pockets of random, weird, quirky art stuff all over the place.
Marvellous.